The clang of iron boots against grimy metal steps echoed through the shaft, carrying the Hive Cleaners down, one grimy floor after another. Tucked behind them, Eli, the new recruit, tried to look anywhere but at the thick layers of sludge coating every surface. This wasn't just a job. It was another world entirely. Eli's supervisor, a grizzled veteran named Ramos, glanced over his shoulder. "Keep up, kid. Down here, if you can't keep up, you're liable to get left behind. And trust me, these tunnels don't go easy on the left behind." They trudged through a maze of tunnels, where every foul odor seemed to have made a permanent home. Waste piled up in mountains, some of it organic, some who knew what. When their radio crackled with new orders, it was a short, garbled message. Check pipes, clear clogs, stay out of trouble. But trouble had a knack for finding them. As they reached their checkpoint, Ramos signaled for a pause. "All right," he said, adjusting his weapon, a sawed-off shotgun with burn marks along the handle. "This is a routine. Watch for leaks, blockages, or anything nasty enough to bite back. And conserve your rounds. We're not the extermination crew, so we don't go looking for fights. If it gets ugly, we're calling for backup." Eli gulped, trying to keep his voice steady. "You guys carry guns? For cleaning?" "Oh, we clean all right," Ramos said with a smirk. "Sometimes that means clearing a path before we can get out of here." They moved in a practiced rhythm, the older cleaners scanning pipes, securing valves, and prodding piles of unknown muck with poles to check for danger. Eli followed suit, finding his footing, starting to think maybe, just maybe, he'd make it through his first day without incident. Then came a low, guttural growl from the shadows. Eli's eyes widened as he spotted the creature slinking from behind a pile of debris. A rat, if one could still call it that, bloated and deformed, with gobs of yellow pus leaking from its eyes. The beast hissed, revealing teeth like broken glass. "Stay back!" Ramos barked, leveling his shotgun. The rat lunged, shrieking as Ramos fired, the sound roaring through the tunnel. The blast shredded one side of the creature, but it hardly slowed. It turned its milky, rage-filled eyes on Eli. Eli froze. His hand gripped his own weapon, but his fingers wouldn't move. Then, as the rat charged, something snapped inside him. He squeezed the trigger and kept pulling, his shots filling the tunnel, metal clinking on concrete as he emptied his clip. The creature finally dropped, leaking a sickly yellow fluid that hissed as it hit the ground. "Good, kid," Ramos said, slapping him on the back. "But don't waste all your rounds on one. You'll need 'em, especially if we run into a pack." They regrouped, exhaustion clinging to them like the sludge on their boots. Eli felt the first hints of relief creeping in, but that's when he heard another sound. Scraping footsteps, wet and squelching. Out of the darkness, a group of human figures staggered forward, grotesque, malformed, with mushrooms sprouting from grayish, decaying skin. Their eyes were glassy, devoid of anything human. These were extermination crew work, or should have been. Clearly those guys missed a spot. "Don't bother reasoning with them," Ramos muttered, steadying his gun. "They're long gone. Stick together and try to back out. If we can get some distance, we'll radio extermination." They edged backward, but the mutants were closing in, pressing them into a corner. Escape wasn't an option anymore. "Looks like we're in for it," Mason, another cleaner, growled. "Let's make it quick." The figures lunged, and the cleaners moved as one, blasting, stabbing, shouting, and swinging. Eli found himself face to face with one, its hand reaching for his throat. He smashed it back, rage taking over. With each strike, each crack of bone under his fists, the terror lessened, replaced by an odd, manic exhilaration. "Easy, Eli," shouted Mason, hauling him back before he could pulverize the fallen creature entirely. Eli's knuckles were bloody, his breathing harsh, but a grin split his face. "Kid's got the spirit," Ramos said, chuckling. "Reckless, but you'll fit right in." When the tunnel finally fell silent, they took a shaky breath, surveying the carnage. The stink was overpowering, the mutants' blood mingling with sludge on the floor. But they'd made it. Ramos clapped Eli on the shoulder. "Good work today. Hazard pay too for dealing with parasites. And the beer's on me," Mason added. "Soon as we hit the decon zone anyway." Eli's laugh echoed through the tunnel, strained but victorious. They turned back, grimy, sore, and alive for now, at least until the next job in the depths.